I've been terrible about making videos here lately. It's not because we haven't been working, it's the complete opposite. We've been working a lot, and I've been running like crazy, trying to cut timber, trying to look at jobs, trying to get the jobs lined up that we're getting ready to move to, move logs, you name it. It's just been all thrown at us here in the month of October, which we wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm going to try to get better about making videos. I think the last videos where I left off, I was getting ready to leave for Texas. I was down in Fort Worth, Texas for a few days. Went down there to see Whiskey Myers, me and a good friend of mine. We like the Texas red dirt scene, so we just decided we were just going to up and run off to Texas for a few days, and we did. I always loved going down to Fort Worth. If I lived anywhere but here in where I do in Missouri, if something happened to logging or it just didn't pan out for me, I'd probably move to Texas. Love it down there. Anyway, off to the races this morning. You can see this little jewel here. That's probably about 55 foot of running log, somewhere in that. I was eyeballing this tree the other day. I really thought that we would have to pull this tree to get started because it grew right here next to the property line fence, which the fence is in kind of disarray up through there. There's tops and stuff on it, but I don't want to be the guy that contributes to that as well. I'm just going to try to do my best to directionally fall everything back this way. Like I said, good tall tree grew right down here in the bottom of this draw. And how we missed this thing the last time we cut here, I'll never know. Of course, I see there the other day when I was in here cut a walnut there, chinkapin. And the last time we cut here, we primarily cut hickory out of this patch of timber. A lot of hickory in here, really good hickory. But this go around, we're just cutting post oak, walnut, chinkapin oak, some red oak. Just the better red oak, because our red oak market's kind of in the tank along with everybody else's right now. One thing that people always comment about is, like, you're still cutting walnut. You know, like it's some big mystery. Like, well, our walnut market's in the tank. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I got friends all over the country that log, and we talk about markets in our areas. It's amazing the difference in markets between, I've got a friend in Minnesota. His markets vary from ours on both sides. It's amazing, different areas. So just because where you're living at, your markets aren't doing good, doesn't mean that our markets still aren't moving here, because we're still moving walnut just as fast as we can cut it. Like I said, our red oak's in the tank. Our stave logs are still moving really good. Our pallet's still moving really good. We've been really fortunate. We're not hit with a lot of this, but like I said, our red oak, but we're not known for just tremendous quality red oak here in southwest Missouri. It's more of a black oak, what I call it. But yeah, our red oak, we're just, I'm not buying any big tracts of red oak right now, nor do I ever really try to. But when I look at them, I try to advise people just to hang on to them if they can. But we're still cutting a lot of walnut. And when you cut trees like this, it sure makes the day go by better. So we're trying to get this job wrapped up. Hopefully I can get the wraps on it, the cutting, maybe by tomorrow on this part of it. We got another little section up here to the north of the farm. There's about 45 walnut trees, and where they're at, I should be able to blow through them pretty quick. But I'm just going through here, like I said, getting the walnut cut, getting these chinkapin cut. And for y'all that don't know what chinkapin is, it's kind of like a white oak. We actually sell them for stave quality logs or quarter saw logs in the bigger ones. Good wood. It's pretty. Like I said, it's just like a white oak. And then there's a ton of good shagbark in here. This time last year, we had a good shagbark export market. That market's not there this year, so we'll just let them grow. We'll go up on the hill, see if we can find some more doozies to cut. It's like the cavalry every time I hear the skidder. Whoop. We had the skidder on the south side of the road on the farm. Of course, I got over there and let it warm up this morning. Kenny got there, and I'd been cutting. Once I heard it coming down the draw, kind of a good feeling. Got a chinkapin oak and a walnut in the grapple there. He's got to cross the ditch, start dragging these out. I've cut quite a few this morning already, actually. Of course, this guy here, I've cut the chinkapin he's dragging. It cut a little bad in the top. The butt's good, and that's what matters, the top. If it ain't good enough for pallet, we'll run it through for firewood. We ain't even gonna worry about it. He's gonna troubleshoot this ditch here to get back across. It's dry, there ain't no water, and it's just kind of a wet weathered ditch. Kenny's a heck of a skidder operator. He'd kind of like me, or I guess me kind of like him. That's where I got my start at a young age. I used to have to beg my dad to run the skidder. I thought that was the greatest job in the world, getting to be on the skidder dragging logs. Now that I'm a little older, I just I dread kind of having to get on the skidder, and I don't think Kenny likes it too much either. But with his health, that's about all he can do right now. And I know for me, it's a lifesaver just having him on it, because it takes a lot of workload off me, having to cut and drag both, and a lot of days I still do. But it's nice to have somebody on the skidder that has experience on the skidder, because most people think you can just jump on one of those things and start dragging logs. That could not be any further from the truth. There is a lot to running a skidder. A lot of it's just troubleshooting, you know, reading scenarios with the machine, your logs, best angles, best pass through the timber. There's so much to it, so much more than just jumping on there and ramrodding around. It really is that we always consider the skidder the backbone of the operation. You know, we can cut and cut and cut, but if the skidder ain't pulling logs, we're not really getting much accomplished. See if we can do the razzle dazzle here. Oh, the old dead one didn't have enough in it. I cut that dead walnut there, and I was going to have Kenny try to knock that other one down, because I've cut into it. That way we keep it away from the fence back here. Didn't work out. Yeah, it's cut off. Just push it, yeah. No, just push it with the tree. It'll go back. Yeah, there we go. Play a little game of pool there. That old dead tree just ain't quite got enough left in it to do what we needed it to do. The top of it was busting up too bad. It's a little small for trees that we're wanting to cut, but again, this is a nice stand of walnut that we've cut before. And anytime we see damaged trees in here, we try to keep them cleaned up and try to get the stuff like this one that's dying. You can see the bark that's coming off of it. Boom, yeah. Not much in it, but get what you can. Slugging it out in the hedgerows this morning. I think I've cut 21 trees so far, and maybe 18 of them have hung up. You can see here, hung up, 2 there hung up, tried to fall one with another one. This hedge, for you guys that don't have hedge, is just horrible to cut in. There's no give to it. And it's not that these walnut trees have a ton of weight bringing them down anyway. And you can try to directionally fall all you want in this stuff, but whenever the timber's this thick with this hedge and locust, they're gonna get hung up. Makes it pretty slow going. A lot of good young trees left in here for the next harvest. To be honest, some of them it's hard for me to leave them. They're right there on that verge of being ready to go, and some of them are probably ready, but we're just going to leave them. We're just going to come in here and thin. We're not going to get too carried away. Self-control is hard sometimes. what I mean here? Nasty stuff. Not much give to it. One more right there. He's got another one out there that's already cut off. I want to get this one cut. Gotta watch out for that limb up there. Could be trouble. I'm gonna gas up real quick. Cool morning. It's a little after noon now. So this morning, Dad and I get out here early. We put a bunch of trees on the ground. I didn't walk this job. I knew there was timber here. I couldn't remember what was here from the last time we cut it, because after a while, all the timber stands, they kind of start to blend together, to be honest with you. I knew there'd be some timber here, but I didn't know how much, so we're whittling away at it, and we probably cut 45 this morning. I really hadn't planned on doing a lot today, but it's such a nice day, and I just can't help but work on nice days. Now, you'll notice I've got the idle turned up on the skidder here. Now here in the last week, this H series here, this is our 12 model, it's been kind of acting up a little bit when it's cold, like it just doesn't want to run like it should. So, and I've noticed this early on, Monday or Tuesday, well not Tuesday or Wednesday, let's scratch Monday completely. When the skidder warms up, it runs out right, but until then it's just like it's starving for fuel. I'm not a mechanic, I don't know. I don't think it's fuel filters. One thing I don't think it is, but we're probably going to jump into that probably next week. It aggravates me because the days I've got to run the skidder, like today, when I get on something, I want to go to work. I don't want to, get in an angry, shouting, cussing match like I probably will here in a bit. So that thing's been running for a while, but like I said, we've got the hand throttle, or they're not even hand throttles anymore. They're just set of buttons in these newer machines. Idling about 1500 RPMs just to kind of warm everything up. So we'll see how it performs. Now, next on the list, I went and picked this up this morning, or not this morning, there about noon, when Dad and I went in to take a break. I'd ordered this some time ago, and I always try to keep a saw or two on order. Dad and I, we probably buy too many chainsaws. You can never have too many of them. I always like having an extra one or two. One thing I did notice from my steel dealer, so the bar is made in Brazil. That is a first time I've seen that, because like the old bars here, made in Germany. Now these saws are still made in Germany, they say, but now we've got bars made in Brazil. And this chain is just RS36 full chisel. Now I have been running the hex chain. I did talk to my steel dealer this morning. He's got me 2 full spools of hex chain. I said I want it all. Give it all to me. Love it. We love what's going on with the hex chain. I got another file, and the one thing that steel's aggravating me about is this right here. So in a regular pack of files, you get 3. In this hexa, you get 1 file in a pack, which is kind of inconvenient, because out of those 2 full spools of 3/8 chain, Steel sent my dealer 1 file. 1 file for 2 full spools. That won't work. I got the other 2 files from, keep them here in my door. At least I thought I did. They're down in there. They're already spent, and I've still got them down here. They're toast. We can't sharpen anything with those anymore. We've got the good out of them. And like I said, that's aggravating for there to be 1 file in a pack. There needs to be 3. Maybe one day Steel will get it all straightened out, but until then. Now, if anybody's looking for one of these 500Is, my steel dealer here in Stockton has a brand new one on the shelf. We do not want it. This will be the first, last, and only 500i I ever buy. I'm not a fan. I tell people I'm not a fan of them when I'm asked about them. I don't want to sell it, because I'm asked constantly if I want to sell it or get rid of it. No, I do not. Even though I'm not a fan, I still use it because I did pay for it, and I paid good money for it. This little hunk of junk here costs more than this here. And one interesting feature about this saw is, look here, this is a brand new saw, but Steele's went back to, you can get a new 661 that doesn't have an electric carburetor on it. Back to the manual stuff, which, I'm a fan. I don't have any complaints with how these, you know, electronic carbs work. I get along with them pretty good. We don't have any trouble out of our 661s. I've got no dog in that fight. Like I said, I feel that these 661 Steels have always treated us right as far as performance and longevity. Tough saws, they take a beating. I'm not easy on chainsaws. I'm not notorious for being easy on chainsaws. It's a well-known fact that we are hard on chainsaws because we use our chainsaws. That's probably one of the reasons my dad and I always order and buy so many, but I always like having my truck loaded down with gear, whether it's new saws, I won't even use this for a while, I hope. Chain, oil, mix, files. I like having everything on my truck when I go to work because you never know. You never know what you're gonna need when you get there. I like having my work truck with all my tools, fuel, everything. I want everything on the truck. I want these trucks loaded up with supplies. But for those of you that do like the 500i's, Stockton, Missouri, Stihl dealer there, Bay's small engine, they have a brand new 500i on the shelf. We do not want it. One thing you won't be getting, my hex chain. I like this hexa chain. I think that is good stuff. I think Stihl really did something right there. Like I said, he just got 2 full rolls in. I've already got them both. Like the hex chain. Dad's got some ash cut. I think he's got a red oak cut here. There's some really good red oak on this job. I haven't been cutting any of them. We just don't have a good outlet for our red oak right now, and I hate to cut it. It's hard not to cut it because that is a nice red oak log. The ash, we've got a decent outlet for ash still, and I've been cutting some ash here. That's a pretty good one there. Big piles of logs here. Mainly walnut, but there's a little chinkapin mixed in. We'll drop and go. Good walnut. So this afternoon, it's Monday, by the way, I wanted to get a few of these trees that were left along the fence lines here. This one here, I thought we could push it back in there, but it got hung up in that red oak top. And it kind of went over here and got into this other walnut. So he's gonna... Close, wasn't it? It's all right. If we showed you all the close calls and things, you guys would be amazed. I'll take close. As long as it doesn't tear these fences up, because I don't like building fence. We'll pull that back out of there. We'll clean this up. Keep these fence lines clear. But yeah, things don't always go the way you want. They don't always cooperate, and that's fine. But again, this is still a win because we didn't tear up that 5-strand or 6-strand barbed wire and hot wire. I'll cut this log off and I'll take it to the deck.